Jump in here today. It's Kate from Corporate Women Unleashed, where we help high achieving women create work-life balance without having to sacrifice your successful career. And I wanted to jump in here today and talk about perfectionism. And one of the things that we do as high achievers and women with powerful careers is when we look for work-life balance, we look external to ourselves a lot. And it's not an external answer typically. You know, we're looking for, do we have a company that has a culture that supports work-life balance? Do we have a supportive boss? Do we have a great team? Do we have a nanny? Do we have a family that lives in town that helps us with our kids? And so what happens is we try to set up all these things external to us to help make our balance better. And there's certainly nothing wrong with those things. It's great when we have a supportive boss. It's great when we have family in town who can help pick up the kids or a nanny. All that's great. I'm not saying that that's not great. But in order to create work-life balance, and I mean to really control it, right? Not just to sort of like, I think I've got balance and it lasts for a couple months or it lasts for a year and then it goes away. I mean to where you're in control of your career. You get to have your powerful career. You get to have your wonderful paycheck. You get to do something that is really inspiring and fulfilling to you that you've worked very hard to achieve, but you also get to home and be a hands-on mom. Or, if you're single, you get to go date or be with your partner or whatever, right? And so what I want to talk to you about today is perfectionism, because really the key to creating work-life balance is typically not ever external to us. It's up here. And one of the things we do in our program is we work up here a lot. We start here and then we move into strategies. And that's sort of it's not what most people do. Most people look for strategies like, hey, how should I manage my boss differently? Hey, how should I manage my leadership team? How should I negotiate leaving the office every day at 5 o'clock? And it's like, those things are fine, but they're temporary. You're not really in control when you do those things unless you change what's going on up here. Because if you have a story in your head that says something that's the opposite of what you're trying to create, until you break free of that story, you're never going to find the balance. And the thing with high achievers, with women who work in high stress environments, with women who really enjoy their powerful careers is they enjoy their powerful careers. Like I do, I've always loved my work, but I don't love it when my work creeps into my family life and prevents me from being the woman I want to be outside of work, right? And that's the key. So today let's talk about one of the mindset pieces that can trip us up. And there's a lot, and I'll start talking more about these. But one of those mindset pieces is perfectionism. Okay, a lot of the women, or many women that we work with, are perfectionists. They want to do a really great quality job, right? They've been trained to do a great quality job. And the story that can go on in our head is, if you're a perfectionist, is if I don't do this well, who will? I'm the only one who notices the details. Gosh, why can't anyone else just finally do what needs to happen around here? Why is it always me? There may be great pride in your work. Look at this. I've never had a presentation bomb. I've never had a misspelling on a presentation. I've never turned in a report late. Perfectionists love to do things really, really, really well. Now, achievers do too, but perfectionists are just really drawn to making sure every detail is really exacting, making sure everyone notices that they've done these details, and they always feel responsible for the execution. So what happens is, as you build your career, when you first graduate college and you're in the junior years of your career, perfectionism has really treated you well. It's been a trait that you have, a mindset belief that you have that helped propel you up the ladder, because people were like, wow, look at her work. Her work is perfect. Her work is always on spot. Her work is just amazing. That's great when we're climbing the ladder to some degree. It's probably not a good mindset habit to have, but it served you well at some point. So now you're 10 years into your career, 12 years into your career, 15, 20 years into your career, and you still have this mindset of perfectionism, that you are the person that has to do all the double checking, all the details, make sure that things are really exacting, right? And what happens is when we start talking about work-life balance, when we start talking about, look, let's start creating some win-win scenarios and navigating your career differently. So you go home at 4 o'clock one afternoon, pick the kids up, go to the park and make dinner, right? You don't have to be there till 7 o'clock, double checking everything or making sure everything's exactly right. The perfectionist immediately, unless you switch the mindset, immediately starts going, well, that's just ridiculous. So what am I supposed to do? Turn in crappy work? who's going to do it if I don't do it? Oh, you don't understand. My team is too junior. They're not capable of doing things the way I'm doing it. I'm the only one that has the experience here. We have women that we work with that, they're truly in a unique position in their company. There's not a lot of people in the company that do what they do. And they're like, but I'm the only person who has this knowledge. So that's all mindset. That is all a belief. It's a story that we tell ourselves up here that prevents us from getting what we want, which is leaving at 4:00 in the afternoon, picking our kids up, going to the park, going home, having leisurely dinner with our family, and going, wow, this is the good life. This is what I work so hard for. So if you don't fix the perfectionist, what we call the perfectionist script, what happens is no matter how many strategies you put in place, like I negotiate with my boss, I go home every day at 5. I have a work from home schedule on Fridays. I have a nanny who picks up my kids and a house cleaner who does all the laundry, whatever. That stuff doesn't work because in your head, you're still going insane, right? You're worried if you do delegate, if you do let go, is that really being done up to my specification, right? And so even if you're away from work, you're still not relaxed. You're still not calm. You're not confident. You're not in control. You're just away from work, right? If you've negotiated with your boss to have a work from home day or to get off, every Thursday at 5, whatever it is, that doesn't help the perfectionist because the perfectionist is still worried what didn't get done and what didn't get done to the level it should have gotten done because a perfectionist feels good. It feels good to be perfecting things. So it's very hard for our mindset to let go of that feeling. Oh, that feels good. It doesn't feel good for a perfectionist to say, hey, you know what? That's a pretty good job. Now I'm going to go home and, do stuff with my kids and I'll come back to that tomorrow and finish it up. Perfectionists are like, oh, no, I can't do that. All right. So then the problem becomes is, well, okay, am I supposed to start doing shoddy work? Am I supposed to start slacking off? And we go from, one extreme to the other. And now we're over here thinking, well, I don't want to be that person, the person who does the junky work. That's not the answer. The answer is to find a place that's in between. And first of all, change your story, right? The story is not that things have to be perfect and that things have to be exacting. The story is, I am paid here for a value. What is that value? It is not double checking your work. It is not making sure the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed. That's truly not what it is. You have a value. And when you discover what that is and you understand what that is, that's what you're being paid for. That's why you're in a leadership position. That's why you're in a powerful position at work, in your career, not because you're a perfectionist, right? And so it's recognizing that perfectionism no longer is useful to you and learning how to let go of that story and replacing it with a story that says, wait a minute, I'm super capable. I have knowledge that other people don't have, but I can teach other people the knowledge they need to lift them up, to come in and do some of this workload, right? It doesn't all have to be on me. I don't always have to be the final say. And I think that is probably one of the biggest fallacies, that perfectionists fall into is they always feel like it has to go on them. You can train other people how to do it. If you're, burning the midnight oil, well, why isn't your team burning the midnight oil with you and you're training them as you do it, right? Why are you not developing your team? That's the one thing that always astounds me. And this took me a long time to learn in my own career. So, please understand where I'm coming from is we don't develop our teams. We just kind of like, okay, we got bodies here and we give them, some attaboys and we just expect them to do their jobs, but we're not really developing what we need out of these people and allowing them to rise to the occasion so that they can someday replace you and you can move on, right? Like that's the name of the game. Develop your team so that they have the knowledge to replace you and you can move on or you can go home at 5. That's another nice thing. And not that we want to leave our teams, working late either. I think we want to develop a culture of balance for everyone, including our team. So you need to be teaching them the same thing, which is like, let's let go of the story and let's focus on the value. The other thing that perfectionists really struggle with is recognizing what is it that you're really supposed to be doing? So not only do you have to recognize your own inner value, but you need to recognize what is it that your company values and what is it your boss values? And those are all different things. And perfectionists get caught up in the stories. They value my job. I'm supposed to do a really good job because that's what our culture tells us, right? Like, oh, good for you. You did a good job. Now you get a raise and a promotion. But that's not going to help you ever create balance or navigate your career really powerfully in control. You have to understand the psychology of the people you're working with and say, okay, now I understand what my boss is really saying. You've got to be able to read between those lines, understand what's important to him or her, and stop asking permission to have a balanced life. And instead, just start meeting his needs or her needs and giving them what it is they're truly looking for. And then creating win-win scenarios where you do get to have more flexibility. No one's going to question you as long as you are letting go of the perfectionist story, creating the true value that you really bring to the table, and matching that, aligning it with what your company and your boss wants. But if I just told you those strategies, hey, go talk to your boss about what's really important to him and start delivering that, and you don't fix the perfectionist story in your head, that will be an epic fail. Okay. And that's the thing I find that women want to rush to is, hey, just tell me what the strategy is. What should I say to my boss? How do I negotiate with my boss? Should I get a crock pot? Should I get an all pair? Do you think I should move closer to my office? Do you think I should step back in my career? All this external stuff. Guys, it's not about that. It's about what's going on up here. Because if you don't change what you believe, and that belief creates this feeling of I'm important and this feels good, it doesn't matter how much you negotiate external to you, it will constantly fail. And that's what so many women that we work with find. They're like, Kate, I've tried meditation. I tried stepping back in my career. I tried switching jobs. I tried switching industries for work-life balance, but somehow here I've spun up against and I'm, going crazy again. I've tried turning off my cell phone at night. I've tried this and this. And I'm on, a lot of women we work with are, I've gone to therapy. I'm on medication to help me sleep or whatever. That stuff, guys, are like Band-Aids to a bleeding wound. And so the blood just keeps flowing, right? And I know that's just a horrible visual, but truly that's what it is. If we don't fix the story in our head, we cannot control and get the life we want. And ultimately, that's where freedom comes from, right? When I talk about work-life balance, I'm not talking about how do you get a 9-to-5 job and get off every day at 5 and pick up my 2.5 children and go live in my white picket fence house and make a homemade dinner, read stories and go to bed. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about work-life balance is freedom. It's hey, I get to have this killer career that I worked my ass off to have and I love, that provides for my family really well, but I get to enjoy the career. I get to enjoy the benefits of it. Creatively, fulfilling, it warms my heart to do the work I do. And I get to enjoy my life. When the weekend comes around, it's enjoyable. It's fun. We're not running errands and driving ourselves crazy. When the evenings come around, we have dinner with friends once a week, or we grab a picnic basket and go see the neighbors, or I watch a funny show with my husband and we crack up for 2 hours on a Tuesday night. And instead we have this story in our head that life is somehow going to happen when we're, it used to be 55, now it's 65 when we retire. That's when life is going to happen. And right now we just have to keep our nose to the grindstone, work really hard, save up for college, save up for retirement. And then someday we're going to be able to go live our life, and it just doesn't work out that way. And this is why so many women are burning out from from their careers. So many women are stepping back because they believe the answer is somehow in working less. And it has to be a permissive type thing. I have to have a job that allows me to work less. I have to have a job that allows me to work from home. I have to have a boss that's super supportive. And that's just not true at all. Most of the women in our program, they have flexible jobs and they don't have balance. And they came to us saying, I'm burning out. I have a flexible job. I have a boss that is either a toxic boss or a boss that's really supportive. And I'm still not happy. I don't feel in control. And the reason always that you don't feel in control is because you're looking for answers external to you and you're not fixing what's inside. And guys, I did this for 12 years. I tried every, it's like the Rubik's Cube of trying to recreate my life in so many different ways to be able to actually enjoy my life while I had, my amazing career. And I finally was like, what else do I have to do? And that's when I started looking inside. I realized that the problem was inside of me. I didn't know the answer at that point. And this was 15 years ago, but that was sort of what I had to figure out was I have to change the story, because even though my culture that I'm growing up in is telling me that this is the way to be successful, I'm not going to buy that anymore. I get to create my own success. I'm smart. I'm a strong, high achiever. I'm valuable. I've got to figure this out, right? And that's where it is. It starts here in your head. Change your story, change your life every single time. It'll change your relationships. It'll change how you navigate at work. It'll change how empowered you are at work. And you will finally feel free and be able to navigate your career to get the things you want. Because not only will you show up differently, you'll speak differently, you'll think differently, and the people around you, even the toxic bosses, even if you're pigeonholed in some career where you're the only person who can do this work, you'll start realizing that there are so many more possibilities and people will react to you differently. So I wanted to jump in here and do this broadcast because perfectionism is certainly a mindset piece and a story that a lot of women struggle with. And again, the answer to perfectionism is not to do it better and not to be more perfect, but it's also not to be sloppy. The goal is never to be sloppy, never to stop caring, never to give up. When you reach that point, you are at burnout, right? Because for a perfectionist to get to that point, it's just like you're done, right? Mentally, your psychology just can't handle anymore and you're breaking yourself. So what you need to do is change the story that you need to be a perfectionist and instead say, okay, well, if I can't be a perfectionist, how can I get a high quality of work delivered without going insane and having to put my personal life on the back burner in order to get it done? That's the sweet spot. And that's what we teach. And that's what you have to learn, right? So change your story and you change your life. So I hope this broadcast was super helpful for you guys. I'm looking forward to doing more of these, and we'll talk about some other stories in the future. We'll talk about nurture. We'll talk about lone wolf. We'll talk about achiever. And there's all these different, types of stories that we carry with us as women. And again, if you don't let go of that story, it's going to be really difficult to ever create that balance you're looking for. So leave a comment. Leave a like, leave a question, and I can come in and answer that for you. Because I want to make sure everybody gets their questions answered. And it's been delightful talking to you guys, and I'll see you soon. Bye.